Yanky, 59 Seconds by Wiseman.
Yes, Professor Richard Wiseman. It's a funny book, not funny ha-ha. It's written in the style of trying to give you important business lessons in a snapshot, hence the 59 seconds. In other words, if you can't describe it in 59 seconds, you don't understand it, sort of thing. There's nothing so much new in the book, but his approach is very interesting. He takes a lot of research, some well-known experiments and some less-known experiments, and one of the things that he does, I think, very successfully, is that he bunks a lot of myths. And the one that really caught my attention is what he calls the myth of brainstorming. Now, all of us, anyone in business, has learnt to bow at the altar of brainstorming as being far superior to individual decision making. Put a lot of people in a room, create the right conditions, and you're going to get much more than the sum of the individual contributions. And interestingly, Wiseman brings research to show that in many cases, brainstorming produces worse results, less successful ideas, less creative ideas. Now, you don't have to agree with him, but it's interesting that something as fundamental as accepted as brainstorming, he brings research to show that it ain't necessarily so. I think that this is part of a trend in books in the last few years that are making us stop and think about many of the accepted views that we have in management. And new research is showing that whether it's in terms of our thinking, the difference between correlation and causation, this is one of those books that is saying it ain't necessarily so. Look carefully at what you're doing and ask yourself, are you doing it because everyone does it or because it really works? And I think there's value in that book. I think that the 59 seconds itself is a gimmick that is unnecessary because the material that's covered is in itself, because it's so much of it based on a lot of popular science, I think is valuable. So yeah, a good book to read.